Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Blue Jeans Pizza. Can't beat being here, can you, Jason?
Blue Jeans no, I just need some pizza.
You ready? Yeah. Pepperoni, extra cheese. And hey folks, this is a great place, Blue Jeans Pizza. This is a great place to come at night. They got TVs everywhere, the big screen, watch the game. To me, right now, the game is the Yankees tonight. Sorry, folks. Yankees is the game to me. But all weekend long, college football on these screens. Come on down to Blue Jeans Pizza. Jason Banks, the director of Team FYN Sports, is joining me right now. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
It's always good on Friday in the fall. That means one thing. It's Fetch Football Friday, and we're going to be on the sideline somewhere.
That's right.
Let's start with Fannin County. Where are they headed tonight?
Homecoming.
Homecoming.
Senior night, yeah. Probably some emotional parents out there, and they're hosting Lumpkin. And, Lumpkin 0-7, 0-3 in the region. One of the three teams in AAA Region 7 that are still looking for a win. And so some questions for sure will be answered as far as the bottom end of the region picture. We start looking at who's going to be fitting into brackets for the playoffs.
Fannin Rebels, this is actually, when you say fitting into the brackets for the playoffs, Fannin Rebels, this is playoffs. Every game now is playoffs for them. Is that not correct?
Yeah, we heard Pavo say that on our Rebel wrap-up on Wednesday night. And of course, those guys, they're not looking any further than this Friday's game.
Yeah, he let me know that 3 times.
Straight up. He mentioned that their guys can count, and they know what's got to happen for them to get past just regular season play or region play. And
this is the game for Fannin Rebels that they can win. This is one they can put in the books. The W. Lumpkin is 0-7.
That's right.
0-3 in the region. So,
yeah.
But that also brings up they are in the hunt. They're hungry, and it's playoff night for them.
Yeah, and they played a pretty good game a few weeks ago against Chestatee. 40-32, a loss, but still, I mean, we saw Fannin play Chestatee. They didn't quite have as much success as Lumpkin did. So if we were just basing tonight's pick or who we think is going to win off of that game, the opponent alone, it would be leaning actually in Lumpkin's favor a little bit. But I think Fannin is prepared. I think the coaches have got them kind of tuned in to, and it's senior night. Come on.
Okay, let's move north. We'll stay on 5:15 here for a little bit. Let's move north to Union Panthers. Where are they going tonight?
Man, you know what? I actually forgot. Sad enough, because I was still thinking about that North Hall game. I think Union is actually off this week, and they are.
Union's off this week.
They got a break. Yeah.
All right, so Union's off this week. Gilmer is headed over to where are they headed?
Gilmer is actually at home tonight, I believe.
They're away tonight, Gilmer is? And I think they're...
Yeah, Northwest Whitfield. That should actually be a pretty tough game for them.
Well, Northwest Whitfield. Gilmer's headed over to Northwest Whitfield. Gilmer had, and I don't know, Jason, tell me, but I have never really discussed moral victories in football except for the W on the board, and coaches usually don't like to say that, but we know the situation in Gilmer, and they had some pretty good moral victories last Friday night.
They had to highlight that. I mean, they deserve it.
Right.
Despite losing, it was their best loss, right? And the small victories that they had and the things that they were able to finally pull together and do well, you'd like to see them build on that, of course, and they will, obviously, throughout the rest of this season, and then obviously in the off season they've got some work to do. But Northwest Whitfield, much different team than Southeast Whitfield, so we'll hope that they come out and they continue to show some of the fire that they had this last Friday and give them a good game.
Well, in that Quad A region, Region 6, Northwest Whitfield, their D1 quarterback went down, but they let Pickens know they had another quarterback.
I think the backup quarterback may have actually had a chip on his shoulder that game. I'm not sure, but coming in as the backup and people probably questioning how good is this kid going to play. I think everybody found out pretty fast that he can play football.
Yes, yeah.
Like, he was ready.
So I think that was big. Pickens has a loss there. Before I switch over and stay into that Quad A Region 6, let's go back to Fannin. GHSA's really got to look at that region next year.
Got to.
I mean, you got Greater Atlanta Christian, and you got Dawson. There's two teams. That region has to change. Do you agree that of all
absolutely.
regions in the state, that one has to?
There's such a huge difference. Even just going to the game, you step out onto the track or get ready to walk onto the sidelines, and you can see these guys warming up. And when you, like the Dawson game that I was at last week, if you walk out there and you see that they've got 30% more players on the field, something's not right.
Right.
And whether it's the like Coach Pavo told us, well, it's based on the number of students that they have. Okay, well that may be true. I think there's probably a pretty high percentage of student athletes at Fannin County that want to play football. So I don't think that they've got fewer percentage-wise people coming out to suit up. I think it's more of a matter of maybe those numbers are a little bit too wide, right? Whatever that bottom number is and that top number is, they probably, especially if they're looking at expanding number of classifications or like they just recently did, there's just a big difference between seeing Fannin and Union, right, or seeing GAC and Dawson.
Right, exactly. Well,
Huge.
In Lumpkin, in
Yeah.
fairness, and even North Hall and East Hall.
And East Hall.
I mean, they're up there, but still, yeah. I mean, they would fit right now. You're able to play them.
They would fit.
You can still play
both
them.
East Hall and North Hall, I think.
You can still play. But this region has to change because look at the reality. We were talking the other night. Now, when you get into rural counties like Fannin, not to be negative, but you only have X amount of skill players. We all know that football, we call them skill players. Okay,
Right.
You got X amount. You only return X amount every year, no matter how hard you try, because you're a rural county. And then if a kid comes off the field and a kid goes in, odds are in rural counties the same level athlete did not go in.
That's
You with me?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you play these other teams, they send legs in and they're the same set. I mean, there's no level of change in play, right?
Yeah, and
that's what we talk
say
about.
2 or 3 of those guys could probably easily come to a Fannin, a Union, or a Lumpkin and be starters.
Exactly. Let's move back over to Quad A. This is the game that I would say I'm most interested in. Former head coach of the Gilmer Bobcats, which I know very well, Wesley Tankersley. I know Coach Tankersley very well. Great guy, great coach. Over there in Ridgeland, he has the team. They're going up. This is Quad A Region 6. They're going up. The Dragons are traveling over there. They're 7-0.
Right. Ranked 5th in the state.
Ranked 5th in the state.
And I think that that's low.
You think so?
I think that they're as good, if not better, than Cartersville. They've only given up, they've had one game where they gave up more than one touchdown. Heritage,
2 touchdowns.
Not bad.
And outside of that,
you're lucky if you get a touchdown. It's probably in the 4th quarter while you're playing some of his JV guys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You got you. If we looked it up, that 7 is probably 4th quarter touchdown, right?
4th quarter touchdown from a starter from one of these other Quad A schools playing against the JV squad.
And Heritage got 2 touchdowns. So they got 1 in the 3rd quarter and the 4th. I'm just joking.
And they're good.
So, and Heritage is very good.
Heritage, Northwest Whitfield right there, So.
And so tonight, the Dragons, I talked to Chris Parker last night, coach of Dragons. They know what they're up against. They know it's tough, and they know where they're going. But I will have to say Wesley Tankersley over in Ridgeland may have the team he's always wanted. This may be the team he's been waiting for his whole entire coaching career.
You got to say something about that defense, I mean, we just did. But I hope that if Pickens can get in the end zone, it could be a good game. But
what about anything to highlight? We got to go. It's almost time for our Pet of the Week. Anything you want to highlight that you brought this morning on any player or any team or anything we haven't covered that you want to highlight this week?
I mean, basically, I was really excited about talking about Pickens and Ridgeland, and of course, there's some good games that are going on in Region 7 that we didn't talk about, but that East Hall game this week, East Hall Dawson. I think that's going to be a really good game. It could have a major impact on where teams fall in the playoffs for AAA Region 7. And then, of course, North Hall going to GAC. I expect that will probably not be quite the game that East Hall Dawson could be. So, but individual players, just shout out to the Fannin High School seniors. I know they're going to lose some seniors this year. A lot of parents have already told me they're going to be real emotional. Don't take pictures of them crying, but it may happen. So,
you got a game pick. It don't matter where it's at. You got a game pick this week.
I go with Ridgeland. I lose every week, so I'm going to go with Ridgeland. And if I lose, then it's not necessarily bad for us.
Yeah, that doesn't have a big payoff. If you're in Vegas, your Ridgeland pick, it pays off, but it's not a big one. How about I go East Hall over Dawson?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so I've got East Hall over Dawson. He went with us. Yeah.
I had to.
You took your chance last week.
I'm wrong every week.
You took your chance last week.
I want to be wrong, So.
Jason Banks, Team FYN Sports, and don't forget we'll be on the sideline tonight. Like our page, Team FYN Sports. Also follow us at Team FYN Sports. We tweet out all night long highlights on these games, and also we talk Friday about what we think could happen. But don't miss 8:30 every Monday morning. We talk Monday morning quarterback, what did happen. Jason, appreciate it. See you on the sideline. We'll be right back after these messages. It's time for our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge.